Hey, Steve. Project Siren, how's it going? Hey, Skyer. Hey, Craig. Tibor. Dr. Felix. Hey, Jason. Hey, Cyber Gwen. Cyber Gwen has a new album out. Electronic composer. Good morning. Daniel Albero. just fill up a few patterns here. We're going to get really busy. Going. think that's it. We'll just have the drone running. There we go. Yeah, we'll keep those running there. Good morning. Who else popped in while I was messing around here? Mark Chandler, good morning. Kazinagans, hey there. And Perky Pat. Skyer, I think I called out Skyer earlier. I think that's everybody. What I need is my coffee to finish brewing. I did not make tea. I have some iced tea-ish. So today's going to be a busy day. Lots of stuff going on. My wife's got a dental appointment early in the morning that's in conflict with some of my meetings at work. But she has such anxiety about the dentist, they ask her to self-medicate, give her a prescription, and say, make yourself a little spacey before you come in so you're calm. But that means she can't drive, so I have to drive her in. So that'll be fun. Do you get to keep your blood today? Yes. They had a little trouble finding the vein. It depends on who in the lottery, which phlebotomist I get, and they had a little trouble. They took them about 4 tries to get it right, but it was fine. I'm trying to think. Nobody wants to see. Just a little bruising. But, hey, it could be way worse. Let's see. USE. Daniel. What bass sound? Meh. Very funny. All right. My record for missed veins is 12 times quattro pagina. What were they? Did they have to go for your feet? I've had that happen once. They're like, we'll try here and here and couldn't get it. We'll try back of the hand. Nope, that's not working. Ankle. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so what's going on today? Well, we got a few sounds loaded up here. Let's see. Again, I'm going to stream on Saturday at this time, but I'm going to do another Jam Taba Jam with Andy. And so yesterday I was practicing that. Today I'm playing with sounds, although I'm not in the appropriate key. But got a few interesting drones. Andy really makes you up the drone game, Synchrotron does, you know. Right, so this is a VST, this is Omnisphere. We've got there. So that makes a nice low drone. Right, and you can then just play over that. So Garen M, who most of you know, Garen M, maybe most of you know, some of you know, he's a regular, a good friend, and he does a stream on Monday nights, U.S. Eastern. If you hang out with the Symptoms of Reality gang, they call him Fred. Fred is not his name. His name is Garen. But he sent me, I woke up to a note on Discord from him, a link to the Korg multi-poly rack unit. That's what I've been waiting for. So, and we knew it was going to happen, right? Because all their Raspberry Pi synths were coming. They released the key, then they released like an XL version, and then they released the rack version, and then they released the VST version because it's just software, right? Running inside the hardware. And I told him, I totally want a multi-poly, but I'm going to wait until they come out with a rack unit, and then try really hard to wait until they come out with the VST, because generally if you buy the rack unit, generally the rack unit's like $900 and the VST is usually $200. But if you buy the hardware, you can get the software for like $50. And the reason I want both is so that I can sit on the couch with my laptop, load up the VST, and do sound design in the evenings, like using the Move to do composing out there. I'll pull up the VST version to do sound design for the synth while my wife is watching TV. I'll have headphones on, and then I just load those sounds into the hardware out here, and then I can play them and reach over and fiddle with it. It will require having to rejigger, rearrange all the synths here because I don't have room to fit another 19-inch rack thing in here. But, the hardship, oh no. So thank you, Garen. That was a great thing to wake up to. So, let's see. Yeah, vampire. I went to the vampires yesterday and took a little blood. So, let's see. Just give the man a spanner. Give which man a spanner? Oh, sold. For Garen? Yeah, maybe. Raspberry Pi. So all the Korg synths in this particular family, like Modwave, Wavestate, Op6, Multipoly, the King Korg Neo, I think, they're all a little Raspberry Pi inside running the software, which angered a lot of people. They were like, why are you charging $900 for blah, 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 blah. What's the cost of making a synth? Let's disassemble it and find out how much all the parts cost and add it up and then say, that's all we want to pay. Whatever. They sell it for what they sell it for. I don't really care. And they offer a software version. But, that's fine. I like the hardware. I like having physical knobs to lay my hands on. Tristan Green. Yeah, exactly. I have that on my phone. I think I did a video about that. It was like Launchpad Pro Mark III and your iPhone and Korg gadget, and you're good to go, right? And then that works. But I like having knobs, and I collect synths, so I like to collect. I'm fine with that. Let's see. I'm gonna have to do some sort of mnemonic device for Vajrak Ilaya. I don't want to call you Vaj because that's too close to being impolite. But good morning. Steve, you could build one. So the guy who did, Dan over at Talldog, who did the conversion kits for the Korg Raspberry Pi synths, he built the aluminum enclosure Kickstarter. He's disassembled them and things like that. And, sorry. He disassembled the Mark I units to sort of make sure they fit and, understand what he was building there. And someone suggested, well, you should be able to replace the Compute Model 3, which is what they've originally released with a Compute Model 4 or a more powerful Pi and things like that. And he did the breakdown on why you can't do that. And I don't think it's a malicious thing on Korg's part. It's just, efficiency and things like that. So apparently there are different editions of each version of the Raspberry Pi. So Compute 3, Compute 4, like within a particular version, like Compute 3, there's several editions of it, variants of the board. And I'm no EE, right? This is just in a casual conversation on Discord with Dan. He says the pinouts and basically the integration points on the different editions of the board are slightly different. And certain editions of the board are not available to the general public. They're only available to manufacturers in significantly large bulk quantities. And the Raspberry Pis that are in the Korgs, he says, are one of these sort of variant editions with a weird pinout. So you can't just swap. It's not a simple swap to upgrade a 3 to a 4. Even if you could manage to do all the software stuff and, reverse engineer how the software is loaded, the loaders and things like that. So, whatever. It's not like they're super expensive, so I'm okay with it. But I'm sure there's somebody out there who's going to hack it and figure out a way to do it. but I'm old enough that I'm tired of hack integrations, right? Like it's, you know, I like Macs. I like Macintosh computers. Okay. And there are people out there who are like, you know, you can run Mac OS on any hardware you want, and here's how you do it. And they've got a step-by-step guide. And I'm perfectly capable of following that, but I just don't want to deal with it, right? That's the same thing for like synths that are internally the bill of materials seems very low compared to the price of the synth. And people are like, you could build your own. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm one of those people who will pay more for convenience. So, let's see. Ugh. Metronome has been clicking in my head. I'm like, okay, stop. Hang on a second. Okay, got to remember to turn on live chat. Stop moaning, Synth Seeker. Last time this week I had elephants crawling around inside my chest. Yes, Wookie. And we love you. And we're glad you're still breathing. Just going back to see if I missed anything because I wasn't on live chat. No, I think that's it. New to your channel as of 5 minutes ago, Tristan Green. Well, hi, Tristan. Welcome aboard. So, I'm going to make some noise here in a second. I'm just trying to catch up. Kilaya. So, I don't know where to put the right emphasis on the syllables. That's my problem. Right? Meditational deity. Okay, that's cool. It's okay, I'm a vegetarian. Oh, my Lord. We're family friendly. Got to be family friendly, people. So it is funny though. They can't hear you talk, right? I'm not doing, I'm not doing text to speech, but we do have children listen once in a while. So do please. Steve says 900 is lots expensive. I mean, it's all relative, Steve, but from a synth perspective, 900 is mid-tier, right? For the market, $900 is mid-tier, right? $3,000 is expensive, right? Daniel, welcome to the Discord, dude. Let me know if you have any trouble getting in. We had a couple of people who joined the channel and then I didn't see them on the Discord, and it's hard to tell. It's like the absence of someone when they have access is it like they don't know how to do it, the instructions are wrong, or they're just not interested. That's fine. Electronic Composer says Apple all day. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Jeff. In my case, Jeff is driving to work. Oh, good. A phonetic. Vajra Kilaya. That's going to take a little while. Hold on. I'm going to screenshot that, though. All right. I'll do my best. Okay. Discord is kind of tricky. Okay. Just leave a comment on YouTube if you get stuck. We'll get you in. All right, let's make a little noise. So, what do we got here? So, we're doing this drone. We'll quickly go through the sounds. So, we have a bunch of drones. We're going to do Drone Day on Saturday with Andy. An informal drone day. It's not an official event. So, we've got 3 VSTs. 3 instances of Omnisphere on the tracks. So we've got a drone, we've got our little Galactic Love piano. We've got a nice little lead. Okay, so those are the VSTs. We're just running Omnisphere there. And then we have the bass. Doing our Rick bass samples. Is anyone gonna ask? What's the key for today? We are in G major, but I've modulated it down to F minor so that I can build something up and then walk up to G major to be happy. So we'll start dark and then we'll end happy. The Op 6 is changed today. how do you describe this kind of sound, right? You could play melodies on it. It's busy though. It's got this sort of, the underlying sort of lead, sort of mid-range. And then it's got a little ARP glockenspiel thing going on the top. So if you don't sustain it, if you just play staccato, it's kind of nice as a sparkly sort of ARP-y. But if you sustain it, you can sort of do these sort of, alto sort of range melodies. So I don't know. I'm sure in like music academia, there's some sort of word for what I'm trying to describe, but I don't know. That's okay, Tristan. Work it out. There's no pressure. So, yeah, glassy. That's right, chat. Yeah, glass. Like a glassy lead. Or Twilight Zone. Yeah. All right. So that's coming off the Op 6. All right. One of those Raspberry Pi synths. And then the wave state, I've got a piano replicated. So we've got, that's Omnisphere. But the wave state is doing something similar. It's a piano with a choir that comes in. I promise I will not play any, what's his name? 90s EDM. He had a song called Children that was a hit. What's that artist's name? I won't play that. Okay, don't worry. Robert Miles. Kitaro? I like Kitaro. I remember listening to Kitaro in the 80s. Back in the 80s, there was this overlap where EDM wasn't EDM yet, right? They didn't have that sort of, it hadn't exploded and then shattered into a million genres. But if you were into synthesizer music in the 80s, there were some artists that were in this weird niche. Kitaro was one of them, in that he did synth music, but he was categorized as new age. So there's a lot of artists who are new age artists that was really like, it was cool synth music. Giani was one of those. If you listen to Giani now, he's in this sort of romance, romantic era sort of space, a lot of piano stuff. But if you listen to early Giani albums, it's like cool soundtrack synth music, really awesome stuff. He's got an album called Keys to the Imagination, freaking awesome. Him and what's the other guy who was he was the MC talking head on the show where they go over like pop culture and like movie reviews in the US. It was called Entertainment Tonight, and his name was John Tesh. Yeah, John Tesh was another one. He was like categorized as new age jazz, but he was doing, and he went in that direction real hard. But for a while early on, he was doing synth music in the sort of ambiguous style. And he did the soundtrack for the Tour de France, actually, for the network. And he did all the backing music and released it as an album. And it's kind of jazzy, kind of rock, but like just pure synths, loaded with synths. It was awesome. Awesome stuff. So that was in my formative years. I was sitting there using my Roland D10 and making music and listening to Giani and John Tesh because that was the only synth music I could find. I mean, besides like Wendy Carlos and Jean-Michel Jarre and who else was I listening to back then? Vangelis. It was good. Did Robert Miles die? Someone said rip Robert Miles. Really? I didn't know. It's always sad when an artist. Zamfir, right? The pan flute, right? Zamfir was cool. I only knew Zamfir really as a joke reference because comedians would talk about Zamfir. Steve Porcaro, right? All the Porcaro brothers were great, right? I listened to a lot of Toto. I still listen to a lot of Toto. All right, let's keep going. I'll try and catch up with chat in a minute. Anyway, so that's the wave state. All right, and then the mod wave hasn't changed since yesterday. We've got this sort of brass pad thing going on. that's real flat, not a lot of modulation. But I can reach over and touch the XY pad. Right, and it starts up that physics-based modulation. There's a little ball bouncing around on the screen. And there's friction in the physics model. So it slowly slows down over time. It's fun to be able to just sort of reach over. That's why I like hardware, right? I can just be playing on the grid, control it with knobs and things I've mapped, right? But I can also just reach over and right, and just let that go. Feels like the magician, what is it? Mickey Mouse, Magician's Apprentice. Like just reach over, do magic. Let's see, and then we've got the Summit. I pulled in some more hardware synths, in case you hadn't been around yesterday. I'm just upping the track count and the synth count, and eventually by the end of the month, I might have everything. I've got 3 more under here that are not in use yet. There's a bunch over on the other side of the room, so I don't know. The Summit is doing a very sort of Moog-y velocity sensitive, sort of how open does the filter get. So, and we're using that sort of as a, if you came in at the very beginning, that the Summit was doing a sort of like a not, it functions like a drone harmonically in that it's sort of dancing around on the root with little warbles away from it. But it's rhythmic in that it keeps doing these little runs. It's, I like monophonic. Most of my music is set up so that every synth, the majority of synths are monophonic. So I can trill. But also what's nice about monophonic mode in synths is if you fat finger the pads, like I accidentally hit 2, it'll do a little grace note-y kind of behavior. So, and it's purely accidental. Like I'm trying to actually make it do it, manually, and I can't do it. Or if you brush let's say you've got a pattern running. Here, let's do this. We'll demonstrate. Hang on. Let's go here. So if I very quickly just throw a pattern in. So we've built this pattern. And if I just brush other keys, so we're in monophonic mode. Right? So I'm interfering with the pattern that's playing and injecting these notes. But as soon as I release, it snaps back to the pattern. So it's not quite a trill, but it's interesting sounding. You could play with it. Anyway, that's what's running on the Summit. Let's see. Someone, Guns and Guns fired up the JD 990 yesterday. Nice. Nice to have some knobs there. Pull out the super saw. We just get caught up really quick here. John Tesh has serious sax skills. I've never seen him play the sax. I've always seen him play the piano. Kenny G. We'll go to the 80s icons. Someone's going to mention Michael Bolton in a minute. God, he died in 2017. Chat, thanks for letting me know. I didn't realize that. Robert Miles passed on. Let's see. No, I've never seen the Zamfir commercials. Was it like a Ronco kind of thing? 2017. All right, good to know. We get caught up here. Monophonic Fat Fingers is a great band name. So what are some of the names of the bands you were in? This is always an embarrassing question for a lot of people. So if you were in garage bands as a child, what were some of the names? And I'll give you one of the names of the bands I was in. I was in a band called Gut Bucket. Gutbucket. Gut Bucket. And it was a garage band that we tried to get rolling, and it never really went anywhere. We never really played out, but we practiced a lot, my two roommates and I. And it's a reference to some blues musician, and he was saying that's where your music comes from. It's got to reach down and get it out of your gut bucket. That's where the music comes from. The Gut Bucket. And that was the name of the band. So, hey, Large Father. Perky Pat asks, do most people use the synths in mono mode or stereo? I like to use them in stereo, but like if you go talk to recording engineers, like professional ones over the years, the majority of them that I have read in interviews say that they actually record synths mostly in mono, because then they place them within the stereo field more easily, right? And you don't have to worry about things like I've got synth patches where I'll be playing it and it's like, has that shifted? Have I bumped the pan knob? Because it feels like it's off to the left a bit. And it's simply because the synth has got some modulations going on in the patch and it's either moving around in the stereo field or something is doing like phase cancellation on the right-hand side. And so all you're hearing is the most of what you're hearing is from the left. So, but for today and for the foreseeable future, I generally record in stereo if the synth provides stereo. So we'll see. Let's see. And then Greg said, Perky Pat has a question. That's fine. Yeah, if you do ask a question, as Greg demonstrated, try and put a tag on me. But if you're on mobile, just put a big capital Q in the beginning and I'll try and find it. Or put a couple capital Qs there. Yeah, Procaro and his brother were awesome studio musicians outside of Toto. It's too bad they, drugs, man. Bad scene. Okay, so we got some band names here. Shaved Tea, Jeff Hopkins, called Shaved Tea. Okay. Doja Chocolate Thai. Are you drinking that, or is that the name of a band you were in? Funk Nut, Tristan. Nice. Names of bands. Oval Sandwich. Are we just making shit up now? Oops, sorry. Are we just making stuff up now? Yeah, Andreas Vollenweider, the harp player. He was another one. He was one of those new age guys, and his backing tracks all had cool synth stuff in it. And then he would play this. I remember he had one breakout video on MTV or VH1 or something like that. He was great, harp player, right? I wonder if he's an influence for what's her name, the harp lady who looks like Goth Egg, Emma. Is it Emma? She's hilarious. She does a bunch of pedal reviews and stuff like that, synth stuff. Stereo summing down in mono can phase cancel. Yeah, I know. So I'm just relating what I've read. So I use it all in stereo as much as I can. Project Siren says, as a gastroenterologist, I can relate to Gut Bucket. Okay, good to know. Hey, James, here's side checks. He led a 3-piece band called Big Jim and the Twins. So much innuendo possibilities there. All right, cool. It wasn't actually a duo with you and Pamela Anderson, something like that? Big Jim and the Twins? No, I shouldn't say that. She's got a new thing out. She's looking like her life's in control now. Yeah, Hopkins. Yeah, exactly my case. She's awesome. I love watching her videos. Emily Hopkins. All right. Okay, so anyway, those were the synths. Oh, I got to the Summit. And then there's two more. We've also got the Wave 2. So Mod Wheel brings in the LFO on the filter. then lastly, the third wave. I guess this would be glassy as well. There's a little dissonant at the beginning. A little like cross mod happening. And I didn't really go looking that hard for the third wave stuff. I just wanted something that I could do some sort of glassy accent. All right. So let's see. I've got a few patterns that I had put in while I was prepping and recorded well at the very beginning of the stream. So we've got, we'll just start them up again. So we've got some plucks. I'm in this mood for this three octave pattern run kind of thing. So I had this running, and it's just droning around on the root. Right, that's sort of, so a thing about when I make music, I will pick a rhythmic and harmonic shape, and I will try and use it over and over again on different instruments, and sort of build up these layers of them doing this little 3-octave. And then you move them around in time so that they're not always playing in unison. They're playing sort of staggered or phased, or they play at a different speed. So, right? And you build up these layers of that. And I enjoy that. It feels good to me. Hey, Eric S. All right, Jeff, have a good day at work. I have to take my wife to the dentist in a little bit, so I'm not going to go that long. Yeah, Susan Giani. Yep. She performed last year. She went on tour for a while. I think. One of the female synth gods came through Boston. And it wasn't Wendy Carlos. Had a little glass on top. We'll get a big fat bunch of layers together. What else do I have left here I can add in? modulation. There we go. Chet says I make loops between 8 and 47 bars, any random loop length. That's one way to do it. I usually hover between 1 and 16 for myself. Yeah, I can see that. Right, you've got, with if they're all different loop lengths, right? They're going to coincide and then they're not. I refer to that as phasing. I do the same thing with Berlin School patterns. It's super fun. I agree. Oh yeah, Giorgio Moroder. Yep, for sure. Large Father. Never forget him. Hey, AJ. You're in Rochester, Tristan? Yeah, I'm in the Boston area. Yeah, Berkeley's stupid expensive. All the music sort of colleges are crazy expensive. Yep, Tomida's a good one. Nobody's mentioned Larry Fast yet. Synergy, he's probably my number one favorite. Studio musician, mixing engineer, synth god. Tristan says, Greg, how do you pronounce that? Phalangenese? Yeah, colleges these days, at least in the US, university is a business for making money. We'll see if it gets fixed. Let's see. Let's transpose around a little bit. Get to our happy place. Let's see. One of the things that's got to have to change is if I keep adding synth tracks here, I'm running out of. I got to reconfigure the whole Jelly Bean thing because these are sustains for the first 7 tracks, and now I have 10 tracks, and I'm thinking about adding 3 more. So I'm going to have to sort of split this out and have 2 rows of sustain toggles. Transposing while I read some chat. Oh, yes, I do know Greg. Okay. I mean, I don't know him. I've seen his channel. The Akai Force only allows 4/4? Really? That's a pain. I didn't know that. Oh. I've got a friend, his name's Noise Theorem. His name's Tony, but he goes by Noise Theorem. Great, he's just like us, right? A middle-aged guy, career, kids, family, collects synths, makes music. And he loves the Akai Force, but I may have to tease him slightly. I didn't know the Force only did 4/4. There must be a way to do something else. Like you can't define like at the end of a pattern as not 16. You can't do like a 12-step pattern or something like that. Okay, so you can set up different time signatures manually. It doesn't make sense that it could only do 4/4. There is a VST drum machine that I like a lot called XO from, I don't remember the manufacturer. It's a really nice creative sort of drum sound design system. The building of kits is really well streamlined. But the problem with it is its pattern lengths appear to be locked at 16 steps as well. I can't figure out how to make it do odd time signatures. So if one of you can figure it out, the drum VST called XO, I've been through the manual, I've tried everything, and it just wants to be 4/4. So I don't know. I'm going to wind this down. I'm going to open up a little space for me to noodle around, and then I'm going to shut her down, and then I got to take my wife to the dentist, so... We'll do a little Robert Miles. I respectfully say this. I should make jokes because the man's passed away. We're gonna do a little piano lead for Robert Miles, who I just learned has passed away, like 7 years ago. There we go. All right. So MPC3, taking my wife to the dentist. Is that a Steely Dan tune? Donald Fagan. No, she have to take her to the dentist. She has a dental anxiety, so she medicates, so she can't drive. And then I take her in. So, and then I got to get to work. I got a big presentation in front of my boss's boss today. Woohoo! So it'll be fine. All right. All right. I haven't missed any questions in the chat that I can see. So, all right. Well, everyone, have a great time. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay. If you work a schedule, like a Monday through Friday schedule, that's probably a good thing for you. Saturday morning, I'm going to be doing this again at 5. And like last Saturday, I'm going to do a Jam Taba Jam with Synchrotron with Andy, which is super fun. And I look forward to that. So we'll do that. And then, and he usually does like a 3-hour stream. I'm not going to stay for 3 hours. I'm going to get in for, 30 or 60 minutes at the beginning. We'll do some stuff. Then I'll get the hell out and he can run his show uninterrupted at that point. So that's what's going to happen. So thanks everybody. Hope you have a good day. And, I will see you tomorrow or whenever you come back. All right. See ya.